Listen carefully. I start speaking with the most powerful Bible verse for your child, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Listen carefully. Not everything that looks like delay is denial, and not every silence means I have stepped away. There are movements in the unseen that your eyes cannot yet perceive, but your spirit has already felt the trembling of what is about to unfold. This message is not random. It has found you because you have been watching, waiting, and wondering what is happening behind the scenes of your life, and especially in the life of your son. There has been a heaviness in your heart when you think about him. A quiet concern you have not spoken aloud. You have replayed moments, questioned decisions, and even asked yourself if you somehow missed a sign. But I tell you now, nothing about his journey has escaped my sight. I have been there in every moment he thought he was alone. I have seen every tear he tried to hide, every confusion he could not explain, and every battle he did not know how to win. This week is not ordinary. It carries a shift, a divine interruption that will break patterns that seemed unbreakable. What you thought would take years to change, I will begin to transform in days. But understand this, miracles do not always arrive wrapped in comfort. Sometimes they come through disruption, through exposure, through moments that shake what seemed stable. Do not fear this. What is shaking is not meant to remain. Your son has been walking through a season of testing, though he may not even recognize it as such. There have been influences around him, voices that have tried to pull him in directions that are not aligned with his purpose. Some of these influences appeared harmless at first, even attractive, even logical. But beneath the surface, they were draining his strength, clouding his clarity, and slowly distancing him from who he is meant to become. This is where the warning comes. Pay attention to what is being revealed this week. There will be moments where truth surfaces unexpectedly. Conversations may happen that feel uncomfortable. Situations may unfold that seem chaotic or confusing. Do not dismiss these moments. They are not accidents. They are exposures, necessary revelations that will separate what is real from what is false. You may feel the urge to step in quickly, to fix, to control, to intervene in every detail. But be still. There is a difference between protecting and interfering. I am already at work in places you cannot reach. Trust the process I have begun. Your role is not to force the outcome, but to remain anchored in faith and wisdom. There has been a question in your heart. Is he going to be okay? Hear this clearly. He is not only going to be okay, he is going to rise in a way that will surprise you. But before elevation comes refinement. Before clarity comes confrontation with confusion. And before breakthrough comes resistance. Your son is standing at a crossroads, whether he realizes it or not. One path leads to distraction, delay, and cycles that repeat themselves. The other path leads to purpose, strength, and a future that carries my hand upon it. This week will bring a moment, a decision point, a realization, or an encounter that will begin to shift his direction. Do not underestimate small changes. A single conversation, a single thought, a single decision can redirect an entire life. What looks small to you is significant in the unseen realm. This is why you must remain attentive, not anxious. Watch, but do not fear. Pray, but do not panic. There has also been something hidden beneath the surface, a struggle your son has not fully expressed. It may be internal, doubt, identity, pressure, or a sense of not knowing who he truly is. Or it may be external, relationships, expectations, or environments that do not nurture his spirit. This week, something will begin to surface. not to harm him, but to free him. Freedom often begins with discomfort. When truth is revealed, it disrupts illusions. When light enters, darkness cannot remain hidden. And when clarity comes, it demands change. Be prepared for this. Do not resist it. Support it with patience and discernment. There is also a protection over your son that you cannot see. There have been moments when things could have gone differently, when harm could have reached him, when decisions could have led him further away. But I intervened. I redirected. I blocked what you did not even know to pray against. This is not by coincidence. This is by design. But protection does not remove responsibility. Your son is being called to grow, to become aware, to step into maturity. This is why this week carries both promise and warning. Promise of transformation, warning of choices. Watch the company he keeps. Watch the environments he is drawn to. Watch the patterns that repeat. These are indicators, not conclusions. They are signals showing what needs attention, not reasons to lose hope. There is also something being prepared, something he has not yet seen. A connection, an opportunity, a moment that will align with his purpose. It may come in a form that seems ordinary at first. Do not overlook it. What appears simple may carry divine significance. You may notice a shift in his behavior. It may be subtle at first. A change in thinking. A question he asks. A realization he expresses. This is the beginning. Do not rush it. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, steady, and almost invisible until it becomes undeniable. There has been a weight you have carried as a parent, a silent responsibility, a deep desire to see him walk in the right direction. You have questioned your own actions, wondered if you did enough, if you said the right things, if you guided him correctly. Release that burden. You were never meant to control his path completely. You were meant to guide, to support, and to trust. This is where faith becomes real, not in certainty, but in surrender. Not in knowing every outcome, but in trusting the one who does. There is also a timing to everything. What you wanted to happen earlier could not happen then because he was not ready. What seemed like delay was preparation. What felt like distance was development. And what looked like confusion was actually a process of discovering truth. This week marks a turning point, not necessarily a complete transformation overnight, but the beginning of a new direction. Seeds will be planted. Thoughts will shift. Awareness will increase. And over time, these changes will grow into something undeniable. Be mindful of your words. What you speak carries weight. Speak life, not fear. Speak hope, not doubt. Even when you do not see immediate results, your words are shaping the atmosphere around him. There is also something spiritual happening that cannot be explained logically. There are battles being fought that are not visible. There are forces that seek to distract, to confuse, to pull him away from his purpose. But there is also a covering over him, a protection that is stronger than anything that stands against him. This is why you must remain grounded. Do not be shaken by what you see externally. What is happening internally and spiritually carries more power than any temporary situation. There may also be a moment this week where you feel tested, where something happens that challenges your faith regarding your son. It may look like things are getting worse before they get better. Do not be deceived by appearances. Not everything is as it seems. Sometimes things must come to the surface before they can be removed. Sometimes confusion must be exposed before clarity can take its place. And sometimes a situation must reach a breaking point before breakthrough can occur. Stay steady. Stay aware. Stay anchored. Your son's story is not finished. What you see now is only a chapter, not the conclusion. There is more being written, more growth, more understanding, more strength being developed. And the miracle, it is not just one moment. It is a process. A series of events, decisions, and realizations that will lead to transformation. Do not limit it to what you expect. It may look different than you imagined, but it will be exactly what is needed. You will begin to notice it, small at first, then clearer, then undeniable. A shift in direction. A change in mindset. A new sense of purpose emerging. This is how miracles often unfold, not always in an instant, but through a series of aligned moments. Remain watchful. Remain prayerful. But most importantly, remain at peace. Anxiety will try to rise, but do not entertain it. Fear will try to speak, but do not agree with it. Trust what is being done behind the scenes. Because even now, while you are reading this, something is already moving. Something is already aligning. Something is already being prepared. And when it begins to reveal itself, you will understand why the waiting was necessary, why the silence was important, and why this moment could not come any sooner. Your son is not forgotten. He is not lost. He is not beyond reach. He is in a process. And this week, that process begins to shift.